Hello students, today I'm here to help you understand and maybe also revise the already learnt skill of letter drafting and the higher academic writing skills, namely speech and the report. Now, job application is what we have for the second year syllabus. The job application letter is also known as the cover letter. Now, this cover letter is usually accompanied by the resume. In the cover letter, we are expected to give information regarding our accomplishment, our achievement, our experience. But what care we need to take is we have to be as brief as possible because the rest of the information is provided by us in the resume. Now, what we need to remember is when we write the job application, we have a few standard guidelines that we have to keep in mind. To begin with, the length. When I talk about the length, we need to take care to see that on a foolscap paper, the length of the letter should be limited to 1 page. That is the ideal length of a cover letter. The second point that we have to keep in mind is the language that we use. When we write the cover letter, the language must be simple, direct, and to the point. This letter, which we place to our prospective employer, is actually a presentation of our own self. So the letter should speak about the individual. We need to take care about the space between the words and also between the lines. The next spacing we've got to keep in mind is the space between paragraphs. So these concepts we've got to keep in mind when we write the letter. Now, how do we start writing the letter? The first point we have to keep in mind is we leave the margin space both on the left side and on the top. Now, of course, in the examination answer paper, you have no problem regarding the margin because it's already a ruled sheet. Now, we usually come across letters which are indented. But the latest accepted format is what we call as the block form. And what you're expected to adopt as letter writing pattern in the second year answer paper is also the block form. We start all the information that we write on the letter from the left end. So the first information we provide in the letter is the from address. Now, always I come across students who complain, "Ma'am, we get confused. How are we going to start? Should we write the to address or should we write the from address?" Children, remember one thing. Tell yourself, "I am important." So automatically that thought that you are important will make you recollect the fact that you start with a from address. But here we need not write FROM. We need not mention FROM. We directly start with our address. So then I would be just leaving it with lines. This will be our from address. Immediately after the from address, what you're expected to do is leave 1 line space. And after you have left 1 line space, you are giving us the date. Students, a sincere advice is, when you write the date, kindly take care to write the date with the name of the month mentioned in letters. Do not use numerals for the number of the month. So if I'm giving it to you as an example, I would write 3 Jan 2020. I would not write 3/1/2020. Immediately after the date, as I've already given you the previous instruction, we need to leave one line space and then write the address of the person to whom we are writing the letter. So that is what we call as the to address, from, date, to. The next is what we call as the salutation. Now the salutation, you may either use respected sir / madam, or dear sir / madam, or simply sir / madam. Leave one line space and move to the subject of the letter. Now there's no second thought about it. The subject of the letter is application for the post of whatever. It may be junior assistant, it may be teacher, it may be the clerk, it may be a manager, any post that they have asked for when you understand it as you read the question. So here it would be subject, application for the post of dash. Immediately after that, you will give us the reference. Now when you give the reference, you are mentioning the paper in which you have seen this ad, the date on which the ad had appeared or the advertisement had appeared. Next, you leave one line space again and start with the body of the letter. Now students, please remember, it's expected of you to give 3 paragraphs. The expected norm is we write 3 paragraphs. In the first paragraph, we are giving them the detail regarding the post we are applying for and from which source we have actually got this information. So the standard stereotype statement we usually find in letters is, this is in response to the advertisement that appeared on so and so newspaper on so and so date, calling for this particular post. So this is the way in which we usually start the letter. In the second paragraph, very important and minimum, okay, very important, but minimum information is provided regarding your academic qualification, experience, and your interest or why you consider yourself a suitable candidate for that particular post. And usually in the third paragraph, what we observe in the letters is information regarding your eagerness to receive a favorable response. Now the statement we usually find is, if given an opportunity, I promise to work to the best of my ability, or otherwise we have a statement like, looking forward for an early favorable response. So in these ways, we usually write the third paragraph. This we conclude with a formal leave taking. Usually it is, thank you, followed by yours faithfully or yours sincerely, below which you give your signature, and below the signature you usually write your name. Now when it comes to signature and name, of course, because it's what you're writing on the examination answer paper and you're not expected to reveal your true self, you're usually asked to imagine you're so and so. The question itself tells you, imagine you are so and so, or you imagine you're Mahesh. So then you give the same name Mahesh with a fake signature of Mahesh. So this is how usually we expect a student to prepare the job application. Now, does the job application come to an end there? It's an exercise for 5 marks. It's a question on the examination question paper for 5 marks. So just writing the cover letter is not sufficient. What are you expected to do? On a fresh page, you are expected to prepare the resume. So you finish the letter on one page of the answer book. On the new page of the answer book, you give the heading as resume or curriculum vitae, and then you start writing the information about your own self. There is a particular pattern that you have to follow. Now, instead of me presenting the pattern here, I would just ask you to refer to the English workbook of second year PU. As samples of letter writing, you have the examples given in your workbook. For a perfect sample that is expected of you, you have one on page number 96 of your English workbook, the second year English workbook, that's titled Streams. And for the format of the resume, you have it on page number 98, once again of the English workbook for second year students. Now, with this brief explanation about letter writing, my advice to each and every student is just the belief that you know the pattern does not enable you to write a good letter. As practice, you need to attempt writing at least 10 job applications. Now, when I say you have to attempt at least 10 job applications, when you write the third or fourth job application, you will start realizing that the subject is common in all the job applications, application of the post of, only the post changes. Reference, once again, it's based on the information you have in the question paper. When it comes to the body of the letter, you need to have a little general knowledge. When a person asks you to apply for the post of manager and the qualification required by you is MBA, you cannot give a statement saying that I am an MSc graduate. So care needs to be taken when you write the body of the letter to state your qualification based on the kind of expected qualification the employer has mentioned in the job advertisement. Now, we often feel that letter writing is a new aspect. But if you go back to your previous classes, from maybe class 6 or class 7, you have started writing or drafting letters. Now, when it comes to these higher level writing activities, my sincere request to each student is, please do not learn these exercises just as an activity to score 5 or 4 marks out of 5 in your public examination answer paper. Letter writing is a skill that you require in your day-to-day life. Drafting a job application is an essential aspect in your professional or life where you need to build your career. So it's very important that you learn this job application pattern, not for the sake of only the examination, but for handling your job requirements. So with this piece of advice, I thank you for your patient listening.